In the southern part of the Silicon City Bengaluru lies a lake where nature paints its own masterpiece, where the rhythms of life dance to the tune of Mother Nature's symphony. Puttenahalli's Puttakere is more than just a place. It's a testament to the harmonious relationship between humans and the environment. Puttakere is more than just land and water. It is their heritage, their identity. The residents and the community live in harmony with the lives of the lake, honoring the natural world that sustains all of us. Puttakere is not just a static entity. It's a dynamic ecosystem teeming with life. From its lush green flora to its pristine waters, we will witness the incredible fauna that thrives within its boundaries. This is the story of Puttakere, a testament to the power of unity and enduring bond between humanity and nature. For years, the people around Puttakere have been preserving rich ecosystem and embracing a way of life deeply rooted in respect for nature. But beneath the tranquil surface lies a story of survival against all the odds over the years. As climate change, modernization, and encroachment threatens the lake's area, Puttakere faces numerous challenges. Bengaluru had as many as 51 healthy lakes in 1985, of which only 17 remain today. But amidst all this chaos lies hope, as dedicated individuals and organizations work tirelessly to protect and preserve Puttakere for future generations. Join us as we journey into the heart of Puttakere, where every leaf tells a story and every creature is a guardian of the lake, where hope blossoms amidst adversity and where the spirit of resilience ignites a beacon of inspiration for all of us. Let's listen to the community conservation story from the very person who led the team with passion and determination in bringing Puttakere back to life, which was on the verge of extinction.
My name is Usha Rajagopalan and I'm chairperson of the Puttenahalli Neighborhood Lake Improvement Trust, PNLIT in short. PNLIT is all about taking care of this lake that you see behind me. It is called Puttenahalli Puttakere to differentiate it between the Saraki in our locality, which is also sometimes called Puttenahalli, and of course the very famous bird sanctuary Puttenahalli Yelahanka. ours is a very small lake, which was in a very bad shape. Let's say from the time I had seen it, from about 2006, and so it felt very bad to watch a lake dying before your eyes. So I felt that something had to be done about it. Cut a very long story short, that's what BBMP did. In 2009, they fenced the boundary of the lake, and from early 2010, they started reviving the rejuvenation process. My friends and I thought that we should help BBMP maintain the lake, protect it so that it doesn't relapse. Because typically it's not that this is the first lake that BBMP was rejuvenating. They have been doing this with many lakes. But typically what has happened is when the lake is not maintained after the rejuvenation, then it will relapse. And we didn't want that to happen to this lake. So 4 of us from the locality, we registered our trust, PNLIT as I told you, in June 2010. The very next month, Aarti, Prasanna, Mr. Ramaswamy and I got together as PNLIT, and with BBMP's assistance, we conducted a public tree plantation drive. So in that first phase in July, we got residents from the area to come and plant over 125 tree saplings. So all the trees that you see, most of the trees that you see around me were all planted at that point, and they were planted by residents who made some small token of a donation so that we could nurture the lake. It is very easy to plant a tree, but the kind of care that you give for the tree is what is important. That is what will make for a very healthy tree to grow. So with that money that we raised that day, we hired a gardener and a security guard. And from then to today, we have been nurturing the lake, and we have now over 500 trees, lots of shrubs, climbers, etc., etc. Most of them have been planted by residents who continue to give donations to us, and we continue to maintain the lake with the money that we get. So that is why we call this a people's lake. Puttakere is a people's lake. rejuvenation of the lake is purely BBMP's responsibility, and they have been giving us infrastructural support. Okay, and beyond that, the regular maintenance is done by PNLIT, and we involve the community to help us out with it, either with volunteers or with funds. So at least in the early days, we had a lot of cleanup in the lake basin, which was still dry, and around the periphery, which had lots of weeds growing. So we had lots of volunteers coming in from the area, and all that actually built a sense of ownership among them. PNLIT actually acts like a bridge between the BBMP, specifically BBMP, and with the community. So that is the important role that we play in this entire thing, and it has worked very well. I mean, if this lake was revived in 2010, and now today you see it full of water and birds and fish and all that, then that shows how successful this model has been. It began with when BBMP rejuvenated the lake, they gave inlets purely for surface runoff from the area. But we found in the first year itself, the quantum of water was not enough to fill the lake bed. So if during monsoon itself a lake doesn't fill up, then what is going to happen if the monsoon fails or during the summer months? So we got a total station survey done on the nearby avenue, and BBMP very kindly, they laid what we call a diversion channel. They laid a channel to divert surface runoff from that avenue into the lake. But even that we found was not enough, and we were always concerned when a lake looks dry or without water for most of the year, then it becomes vulnerable to encroachment, to misuse, So we wanted this lake to have water at least during the monsoon. And so in the nearby apartment complex called South City Apartment Complex, they have a very good STP. Actually, BBMP offered us an STP. We didn't want to have one because we don't know how to maintain it. And if it is not maintained well, then it's a headache. It's going to be a recipe for disaster, But this South City Apartment Association, they maintain the STP very well. Because in the new blocks, they have a dual piping, and the treated water, tertiary treated water, is used for flushing in the new toilet, in the new blocks. And it's also used extensively in the gardens. So we could be sure of the quality of the water. So we approached the apartment association, we approached BBMP, and together we went and met Pollution Control Board. And in 2015, they gave us permission to feed the lake with treated water. It's actually a first instance of its kind that from an apartment complex, you're getting treated water into the lake. And we were not sure, even though the treatment is tertiary and we can be sure about the quality, we wanted to purify the water ourselves. So one thing that we did was to do introduce a biofiltration system. We made these floating platforms and we inserted different kinds of biofilter plants into it, like, Hongane Soppu or Kana and Jundu and all that. So these are all with flea-free floating roots which absorb the nutrients and grow. And in the process, they purify the water. So this, it became really very successful. And we tied up with BMS College of Engineering to test the quality of the water, because it's not enough for me to look at the water and say, it looks clean. Where is the data for it? What is the proof that you're saying? So we tied up with BMS, but theirs is not an accredited lab, and we also don't know after they take the sample from here, how long, when will they actually test the sample. So then we got into an arrangement with an accredited lab to test the quality of the water, and since then it has really been consistently good. The dissolved oxygen, the all the BDS, everything. It's all doing very well. And the then chairperson of Lake Conservation Development Authority, her name is Mrs. Seema Garg. She happened to visit the lake and she was very fascinated with this model, and we explained to her, and she immediately called Madiwala, to them to come here, and we went there. We showed them how to make the artificial floating island, and I think for 2019, for the World Wetlands Day, Forest Department adopted this as the theme, and they introduced it. It's not only in Madiwala, in several other lakes also, but we are still not sure, that the quality of water will remain good, more so because from June 2017, we started getting a little sewage from the neighboring layout, and immediately we contacted the ward office, and then they were not able to resolve it. They were only doing some temporary measures which was not working in the long run. We escalated it to the head office of BWSSB, then went to Pollution Control Board, then went to NGT, and finally by the time BWSSB replaced the pipeline, underground drain with the bigger one, the lake was full of sewage, and we had a massive fish kill. Our lake was on the verge of dying once again, and our work of like 10 years completely washed out by sewage, and it was such a heartbreaking thing for us. So we felt really, really heartbroken, and we had to work with the BBMP, with BWSSB to bring the lake back to life. Unfortunately, 2021-22, the monsoon was very good, so the rain god helped to wash out the remaining sewage and fill the lake, and yes, now our lake is sewage free. But we are very, very vigilant. If any of the inlets have even the little bit of a trickle of sewage, we immediately call the ward office and they will handle it. How can we put an end to it? And you must also remember that we are also human beings just happening to live in this area locality, and we are very concerned about the lake, and we are trying to do our best. But now it is up to the government, isn't it, to help us. How can they do it? See, when it comes to the mismanagement of lakes is the problem with the government. In one sense, I don't blame them. They have too many lakes, too many water bodies to take care of, and they have not been able to do it. So they have to admit that they cannot do it, and they need the community help. And they really did a remarkable thing by inviting like PNLIT or Jakkur Lake or MAPS as then Netra or Iblur Lakes. All these have some citizen group looking after it. And this is a model which can be replicated everywhere. We are not pointing accusing fingers at BBMP at all. We are lending a helping hand, And in return, they should help us or rather their own lake by protecting the lake from encroachment. We can stop people from littering, but we can't tell them you get out of here, you're not allowed to stay. That is not our right. So the government has to be very, very firm on this. Just for political gain or to win elections or to get the goodwill of people, if you allow lakes to vanish, then as a city, all of us are going to suffer. So our future plan is definitely, we are hoping someday or the other won't the government open its eyes and see that encroachments have to be removed, because there are so many high court orders. Even there is a high court order for our lake also. Stay order, and the hearing is happening. So I don't know how long it will take, and my friends and I are really very resilient. We have managed for 14 years, okay, but how long can we proceed if we have to fight every single day? Why should we do it? We are doing it only because you see the birds, you see the trees, insects, everything, and it gives us a great joy. But people should understand that really without our natural resources, urban life will become dead. Really. It'll be a lifeless concrete jungle. So let us revive, let us protect, let's nurture whatever. We have lost hundreds of lakes. There are still very many. Let us save them, let's protect them. It's not today. This has been happening for a very long time. Our lake, the Bengaluru city lakes started dying like from the mid 1980s. Okay. So many lakes, the lakes were the easiest thing to be built upon because you stop the feeder trains. You build some building on the Rajagopalan way. Then the lake is not going to get rainwater. It is only going to get, if at all, it's going to get sewage. Then everybody is going to use it as a dumping ground. Then the lake, when it's dying, you say this is now a malaria threat, so cover it. And then you will. Then what? Can you reclaim a lake after something it has been built upon? No. And who is going to suffer? We. The city is going to suffer. Why are we doing this? But what I feel we should do is, you cannot stop development. But it has to be a very planned construction. It should not be at the cost of gardens, parks. lakes, because these are the things that is sustaining our life. Oh no, boating never, because people will only misuse boating. They will go on the boat and they will drink and they'll throw the bottle into the no way. And moreover, our lake is a very small one, So if supposing a boat is inside one side, the birds are going to get disturbed.
Yes.
So that is there, but we have not really reached the end of our journey. Urban lakes will always have to be protected. It will always need lots of mothers and fathers. Okay, but what we would like to do to ensure that the lake survives even after me, for instance, or my present team, is to have more people come forward and say, we will help you take care of the lake. And that the chance of that happening will be better if the encroachment from the lake premises is removed, if they are rehabilitated elsewhere. Because as long as the lake is open on one side 24/7, then a lot of vandalism happens. Oh yeah, we have one, I told you we started off with 125 species of trees. Now we have about 81 species of trees. Number will be around 500. Then we have planted lots of climbers and shrubs. Most of them are actually indigenous species, and which will attract birds and butterflies and with medicinal properties. We are looking to plant only native species. They will survive much better. And as for the birds here, actually we don't see all the birds. As of now, I think 122 species have been spotted till now. And typically bird watchers from everywhere, they will come here and then they will see it, and if they are a member of eBird, they will put it up. That's how I got to know that a red taiga has been spotted at the lake. I'm trying to locate the person so that I can get a photograph. And so 122 species of birds have been spotted at the lake. Many of them, it includes the migratory, seasonal migratory and local migratory. Resident birds, we have about, at any time, I think we have about 25 to 30 birds. And we have lots of snakes. And early days, people used to say, oh, there are too many snakes, you should do something about it. And we have always told them, it is as much their space as it is yours. So you please wait, let the snake go, and then you can continue with the walk. So all these things we are doing to promote awareness that we as people, as human beings, have to live in a world with lots of snakes and insects and butterflies and birds, and not just within the four cement walls of our houses. See, first of all, we are actually not environmentalists. We only learnt whatever we know today is only from doing work on the ground and learning. So, given that we are not really experts in this, and if we can manage to do something like this, then why can't someone else? They may end up doing it much better because we go by trial and error, you know. They may know how to do, what to do, and we are very, very happy to share our experience with everyone so that you don't have to go through the same process again. We know what will work, what are the things which will definitely not work. We are very happy to share. We already do it actually. Even our trust deed, we have shared the template with so many groups in Bangalore. Because all lakes are important, not just Puttakere, and every lake can be done like this.